Welcome back to episode 3 of this driver career. In season 2, we're here for the French Grand Prix, but before we start, I just want a quick note. My videos are pretty poor quality when I upload them, so please make sure you put it in 720p and 60 frames per second. That's the best I can do with the technology I have available, so to make sure the videos don't look like potatoes, make sure you check the quality because YouTube Auto doesn't always make it look the best. As we're just doing some R&D in the background, focusing on the aerodynamics and chassis. That's the worst areas of our cars. And the French Grand Prix is very powertrain heavy and we're kind of mid-range with our engine so far. But anyway, we're getting into the weekend. Just a quick note, my PC kept crashing with the F1 2020 game. Had to find a workaround. And I had to reset the game, so the mods have been taken off just for qualifying. I fixed it for the race, but as you can see, our car is the default Alfa Romeo livery, so that's just only for qualifying. And I apologise for the frame rate in this part of the video. I selected the wrong settings for recording my screen. It's going to be a bit glitchy, but we only set a P19 lap, and that was a terrible lap for me. So I go out again on fresher soft tyres, and I knew we were going to be terrible. I didn't think we were going to be this terrible, as we're only beating Nicholas Latifi in the Williams. But as we come across the line, we're 1 second up on our time, and we slot in behind our teammate in 16th, which is not great, but it's better than before. As you can see, Pierre Gasly getting another great qualifying there, and we're just behind our teammate in 17th, just ahead of the Williams and one Haas. Anyway, let's get into the race.
Hello and welcome to the Circuit Paul Ricard, current home of the French Grand Prix, an event dating all the way back to 1906. It's been held at many venues over the years, with famous moments from Dijon and Manicourt the feature of many a highlights reel. And let's hope we see more of those in the race today. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Gasly, Esteban Ocon, and Stroll, Leclerc, Albon, Ricciardo, and Max Verstappen. Fiat, Vettel, George Russell, and Norris. Raikkonen, the rookie, Antonio Giovinazzi, and Kevin Magnussen. Latifi and Carlos Sainz will start from the back of the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
So we're going to go for 5 red lights for the start of the French Grand Prix. Lights out and away we go. And it's a bit of a slow start than usual. We just come alongside our teammate, matching the pace, and we're going to try and get him into turn 1. But he cuts us off having a look at Norris, so we're going to have to go down the inside, try and go down the inside of Russell, but we have to cut the corner. Otherwise we're going to make a bit of contact, and we have to slot back into P16. So no ground gained in the first turn, but we're going to have a look at our teammate coming into turn 3, I believe. But it's not worth it, but we're going to have to go around the outside instead, and we get a bit of a better exit. And Russell and Norris are squabbling just ahead of us, and we're going side by side with our teammate coming into this section. And Norris is a bit of a wobble, and we try and squeeze our teammate, and we lose the back end a little bit, but we just recover. And now we're in a slipstream of George Russell in the slower Haas, and we're going to try and get him into the braking zone. As you can see, the McLaren has the one-off livery from the mods being reset as we go down the inside of George Russell, and we hit a bollard. As you see, it's rolling in the foreground there, but we're going to outpace George up towards this long sweeping right-hander, and we chase after Lando Norris in the McLaren coming through this fast right-hander. It tells us to lift off, but we're not going to, because you do not need to lift off. You can do it flat out. So we get much closer to the McLaren, and we're going to send it down the inside here, but he's going to give us absolutely zero room coming into this turn.
If I don't avoid that, he's just going straight to my car. Honestly, what are we doing? Racing or ping pong?
So our fellow countryman clearly wanting to play ping pong there. As we get much closer, we're going to try again. It's still on lap 1 here. We're going to send it down the inside into the last corner, and this time we get the move done without having to lift off or avoid him squeezing us into the wall. And now we're going to gain a lot of time on the Ferrari, our engine supplier, and we breeze straight past him.
Accumulating some wear on the MG UK. To manage this, we'll need to lower our ERS deployment mode. Some information on Vettel. They seem to have an issue.
Vettel definitely seems to have a problem, and it's with us as he goes down the inside, and we're going to brake early and try and switch back him into this corner, but he positions his car perfectly for the defense, and we're going to have to try and get him down the pits, not the pit straight, sorry, the back straight. I think it's, minus the chicane, it would be one of the longest straights in F1, but it's split by a chicane as we're going to get slipstream and ERS, and unfortunately no DRS because we're on lap 2, but it doesn't really matter because we've gained lots of time on Sebastian Vettel, and we're going to outbrake him into the zone, braking zone, and we've got him up for P12, and we're going to try and catch up after this train, which I think is being caused by Daniel Ricciardo in the Alpine. But yeah, so we're going to try and settle into the race, as Jeff tells us there that our pit stop window is rapidly approaching, as we're not really gaining much time on this train ahead of us with Kvyat, well, the game calls it our rival because we had to pick one, but we cut to the middle of lap 3 and Lando Norris is now all over the back of us. He's caught up to us and he's going to have DRS as well, but we are going to unload a bit of ERS on the straight to keep ourselves ahead, but he's going to be looming large in our mirrors in a couple of corners as the train ahead of us slows down, and we're a bit offline there, so we didn't get as much of an advantage as I was hoping, but Lando Norris is still there, and he may be having to look for a move into this right-hander, and he's going to go round the outside as we go defensive, and he's going to try and get the move done as we nearly bang tyres, and he's going to give us some room finally, and we're going to aggressively swipe to try and deter him, but he's going to come alongside and he swipes us back. A ding-dong battle between both of us, and we're going to try and hang it around the outside. This is a great battle between both of us, and we're just going to edge back ahead into P12, but he comes straight back at us on lap 4 with DRS, and I'm presuming ERS, and we're going to try and have a look down the inside, but we switch back to the outside and outbrake him once again. Quite easy to outbrake the AI on this circuit, not sure what it's about, but we retain P12 despite Lando Norris's efforts, and we're trying to back him into our teammate as well so he can take the position as we go on to lap 5, this same straight again. This seems to be where all the action is today, as Lando Norris once again powers past us, and we switch on the ERS, and we're going to try and go to the inside, but this time we think to stay on our line, and we're going to try and outbrake him this time, make contact, and we more aggressively come through, but now Lando Norris has a better exit than before, and we're now going to go side by side, barreling towards this long sweeping right-hander, and we slot back into P12 for now, as we come through, it's turn 10 I believe, and Lando Norris is right on our tail, and Kimi Räikkönen is now right on our tail as Norris has dropped back our own teammate, and there are yellow flags coming into sector 3, and I believe it's the Alpine of Esteban Ocon who's had an engine failure. The reason I'm showing you the replay is because it's got the Renault livery on, because the mods, I've already told you this, but since I thought there might be a virtual safety car, so I thought it might be a good time to come into the pit lane and switch onto the medium tyres as per usual, and try and is it called an undercut if you are ahead of the car? I'm not really sure, but we're going to pit earlier than our teammate and hopefully Lando Norris to try and gain an advantage, as other cars are also pitting too, as a Red Bull goes inside a Ferrari for some reason, and we're quite far down this pit lane, which is annoying because when there are other cars in the pit lane we usually always get held up, as we do with a 2.6 second pit stop from our pit crew, but we get held up anyway, which puts us to a bit of a disadvantage, and we slot in behind Ricciardo who's much further away. And this pit lane's very weird, you're allowed to speed way before the end of the actual garages that are empty mind you, but yeah, not much happens on our outlap as we're going to try and see if we've jumped our teammate, but our teammate, as you can see from this wide TV shot, has jumped us. He's slotted just in front of us, so I believe that being held up kind of cost us a little bit, and now we're going to have to try and re-overtake, but he's on the hard tyres again, and so is Sainz and Russell behind us. I have no idea why the AI do this, but they're a little bit stupid. But anyway, as you can see in the top right hand corner, Lando Norris is now pitting. He went a lap longer than our teammate, so he's going to try and overcut us, and we'll see if that works as we cut to the end of lap 7 onto lap 8, and Lando Norris is coming out the pit lane, and he's jumped both me and Kimi Räikkönen, and that's a bit of a blow because now we're going to lose that P12 for sure, as he is on the medium tyres. Yes, he's on a faster compound than our teammate, and so we're going to have to try and get past Kimi Räikkönen here. So we're going to have a look into turn 3, but he goes a bit deep. He brakes quite late and compromises his line, but that also compromises us as we're going to try and get him on the straight, which seems to be the only real overtaking opportunity on this circuit. That's probably why this circuit is very boring to watch, because it's only just straight overtakes with DRS, and I mean, mind you, there's only been 2 recent ones in 2018 and 2019, but yeah, as we gain a lot of time on our teammate here, but we're not going to make a move. That's a pretty stupid idea, so we're just going to bide our time, and we're going to try and get him into the on this next section here with ERS, and haven't put it into Rich yet. Now we do, and now we're going to gain so much time, and we're going to have to go for a risky move into the long right-hander, and we go side by side with our teammate, and we bang tyres, but his slower compound is really holding us up, and as you can see, Lando Norris is already about 2 seconds up the road. So let's just catch a replay of that move that we just did on our teammate here. As you can see, side by side and nearly banning tyres. I thought we did. We didn't, but as you can see, we're just edging and it's very, very close between both of us. But we get the move done, and we're going to try and go after Lando Norris in the McLaren. But unfortunately, we don't really have the pace to catch us. You can see our ARS is kind of down, and we're going to scroll through the laps now. As you can see, our engine, our MGUH, has been worn down, and we've got to remember to place that before the next race. But as you can see, we're trickling through the laps now onto lap 11, and then onto the mid part of lap 11, because Kimi Räikkönen has decided to catch up to us, and he has defined the laws of physics by making those hard tyres work even faster than my fresher mediums. So we just have to defend there as we go to the side, and he's caught us by surprise, and he's going to do an identical move to what we did a couple of laps earlier, and now he's back into P12, and we're going to try and have a look at him, and we bang and we make contact, and I've just got to check if we didn't get any damage from that, but we can see our tyres are quite worn. We haven't been on them very long. So we're murdering our tyres here, which might be an answer for why Kimi is going a bit faster. He probably has fresher softs, but now you can see Carlos Sainz is caught up to the back of us, and he might have a look at us into the next straight. But we managed to hang on, and we're now cutting to the end of the race, and nothing much has happened towards the end as Lewis Hamilton wins again, surprise, surprise, as he comes across the line to win his second race of the season.
Get in there, Lewis. That was an absolute blistering drive there, mate. Awesome race pace.
Phenomenal weekend, guys. Just so proud of everyone. Thank you so much for all the hard work, continued work. Let's keep it up.
I don't think I'm going to run out of any audio clips of Get In There, Lewis, from Peter Bonington, his race engineer, as we crossed the line for our first non-points finish of the season. Down in 13th, which is higher than our qualifying position, so we did gain some places, but Max Verstappen gets the driver of the day there for finishing third, I believe, all the way from 10th place. But yeah, Lewis Hamilton wins again. I don't know how deserved it, as we weren't watching the race, were we? We were focusing on our own race as per usual, but here are the full results. And Pierre Gasly nearly got a podium there, but he drops down to P5, and the Alfa Romeo's a solid 12th and 13th, but no points, which is a bit disappointing. But anyway, let's get into the championship positions, and as you can see, there's not much change. Racing Point go ahead of Alpine, sorry, I think Alpine or Alpine? Alpine, I think. As we're still in 8th in the Drivers' Championship, we drop down to 14th after scoring no points, and Daniel Kvyat moves up to 13th. But now we're going to move on to the comment competition. Didn't put the results up last episode, so here we go, and some new graphics to go with it. And the challenge was blank is faster than Alex Albon, and I offered double points for this one. So let's see the winners. In third place we had Cubsy Cabsy with 2 points of Arsenal's title challenge is faster than Alex Albon. That's a football joke if no one knows what Arsenal is. I'm pretty sure people know what Arsenal is. Second place, Frank 12, 4 points with RuPaul's Drag Race. It's faster than Alex Albon. Jesus Christ, why did I pick it for second? And the winner of, I think it was 2 episodes ago now, was, as you can see, the curtains going really slowly. Benjamin Saul with 6 points for the DTM series as faster than Albon. He'll be dropped in a week. That's the album's new racing series, but we need to crown the champion, as that was the last one, and the comment competition champion is Cubsy Cabsy with 12 points. It was very close between him and Frank 12, who ends up on 11 points, runners up. But congratulations, the first comment competition champion, and we'll return with it in a couple of episodes' time. I think we'll give it a little bit of a rest. But anyway, just going through some R&D admin now. More chassis upgrades for the car to make it a little bit more competitive, so we can actually start scoring regular points, as we didn't get points this race. Anyway, thank you very much for watching episode 3, and we're going to return with episode 4 at the Austrian Grand Prix, probably within a week, so I'll see you then. Bye bye.